I'm back with another video, and as you can see by the thumbnail, it says don't take basketball for granted. And I really do hope this hits home for a lot of the kids and a lot of people that I train, because even myself sometimes took basketball for granted. Like, it's just it is a sport, it is recreational, and it is something you can do to have fun, build with teamwork, build with the team, and all of that is good. But sometimes when we're just going on with our day, or just going through the motions and stuff like that, not pushing hard and not giving it our all, we're taking that for granted. We're taking the ability to put shoes on, to shoot the ball, to run up and down the court, to get yelled at, to make a mistake, to make a shot. All of those things, we're taking that for granted. And I just want to reiterate that it can be taken away from you. And I got like 7 persons that I want to introduce to you, introduce to my team, and hopefully you guys do your own research about them even more than what I'm saying. And I hope this hits, because these were 7 young men that life took them out the game, or out the way that they was going. And to me, it fills in another a way that if you can see it from their story, that you can take basketball more seriously and really put your all into it. Anytime you step on that court, anytime you lace up those sneakers, anytime you're dribbling that ball, you know that there's somebody who's not able to do that, and they wanted to, and they had a dream. So the young man that you saw in the thumbnail, if you don't know him, his name is Terrence Clarke. Man, and he was the most recent one to me that unfortunately lost his life. He was only 19 years old, passed away in a car accident in California. Listen, when I tell you, this guy had I'm talking about bright future, great energy, very likable, very coachable. He was playing at Kentucky. He was going to be a 2021 draft pick by the Boston Celtics. They actually did an honorary draft for him because he passed away before the draft happened. And so he has, of course, YouTube mixes. He was in the New York City Slam. And if you just see this young man, I'm talking about he'll make you smile. He'll make you like be enthusiastic about basketball. Just the way he plays it is like, it's his aura, as these young people say, and his demeanor was just likable. I really admire his spirit and his love and passion for the game. So that's why he was on my thumbnail. That's why he's the number one that I'm talking about right now. So look up Terrence Clarke if you don't know him already. Get familiar with his story and see how he could inspire you and tell you to keep going, and how not to take this game for granted. But number 2, a young man named Noah Sakuri. He was only 17. He was on his way to school when he passed away from bullets from another. Recruited heavily, played college ball. He was a senior, captain. He was a hard worker, as other people described him. Scored very highly on his SAT, so he was very much on his way and stuff like that. So he's another young man whose life got taken away unexpectedly. And if we're getting familiar with these stories, getting familiar with what they was going through, hopefully give you guys some light. But that was Noah Sakuri. Like I said, 17 years old, on his way to college. Didn't even kind of make his footsteps very planted yet. So look him up. Number 3 was this young man, and his case. So he has a case, but it's still unsolved to me, and still is in the works. But his name is Kendrick Johnson. Actually, they did a Netflix documentary on him. He played basketball, and he was out of Valdosta, Georgia, and he was on his way. he was on his way of becoming a college student, college athlete. So it's very heartbreaking to see his life unexpectedly take a turn before he can really position himself. But please look him up. His name is Kendrick Johnson again. Find out some things about him. It's a whole nother story. It can be a whole nother video just about him and what he went through. But I want you guys to look up Kendrick Johnson for this case sake. And number 4, who's on my list, his name is Benjamin Wilson. Some call him Ben, some call him Benji. He's out of Chicago. And this was like the late 80s, you know what I'm saying? So that would take that back, late 80s. 17 years old. Very highly recruited, played for Simeon. I mean, this guy, he could go very tall, could put that ball in the basket, you feel me? So he wasn't no, you know what I'm saying, no average player and something like that. He had a high motor. But for him and his let's say issue, but his dilemma, that's a better word, was he had a little attitude. And so in Chicago during this time, you know, they had a lot of gang robberies and stuff like that. And for some reason, he got into an altercation with another young person. And Benji, being tall, being an athlete, being a basketball player, you know what I'm saying, kind of doing his thing, being a man on campus, you know, he kind of got air of himself a little bit. This is not an excuse for someone to take his life, but in that process, you know, he, from what the stories and the documentaries that I heard from, that he was going back and forth with the guy and stuff like that, and the other guy, unfortunately, shot him and stuff like that because of what Benji did or the attitude that Benji had. And so that story in particular is like, you can be a great athlete, you can be, you know what I'm saying, doing your thing, being highly recruited, but if your attitude is not right, or if you don't have, if you can't resolve conflict and stuff like that, there's people that can just be mad, or people that just want to come hurt you, people that, you know, don't like you just for not liking you because you're going to be successful. So we got to be aware of those things. And you have to, you know what I'm saying, sometimes check yourself and be the bigger person and walk away. Unfortunately, this man lost his life at 17, man, at 17. You know what I'm saying? So that's another story. Please look him up. Do your own due diligence and research on Benjamin Wilson out of Chicago. Our next guy, he from in New York City. He like now this is like 70s, so now I'm going even further back. But his name is Joe Hammond. Now, he from Harlem, you know what I'm saying? But his nickname was the Destroyer. And in one game at Rucker Park, he scored over 70 points. You hear me? 70 at Rucker Park. This is on cement. This is on in the playground area, stuff like that. He was on a Sports Illustrated cover and stuff like that. This man could go, but unfortunately during that time, you know, the drug trade was very high, and got caught up in that life. Got caught up in that system, I will say. And currently he's in prison, stuff like that. But he's another guy who had the skills, who had the intangible things, and could really be somebody and be prosperous. It could change his whole family life. But you know, the streets and stuff like that caught him, and he's spending his time in jail for the consequences and decision that he's made for not just sticking with basketball. So that's just another thing to keep me out here. You know what I'm saying? Some people had it and then made another decision to not pursue it, or not to take it for granted, and it landed them in different places that they didn't want to be in. Our next guy, also NYC legend, his name is Fly Williams. He was also on Sports Illustrated. There's a lot of New York legends, New York basketballers. Don't know for what reason. I need to do my own research on that. There's a lot of them that was in that city, just had skills and ball handlers and can do a lot of things. Could go, but unfortunately couldn't make it out of that street life, man. I'm telling you. We're kind of fortunate today's day. It's not, you know, the street life is not as heavy as it was back then. You know, so for some, I'm gonna say that because I don't know y'all situation, but they called him Fly because he would jump so high. And, you know, he got another pin-up case where he was in drugs, and stuff like that, selling, and unfortunately is in prison. But he was another guy you guys can look him too. And just, he has some YouTube and illustrations and papers and clips and stuff like that that's about him. Now, last but not least, and I mean last but not least, this guy here, man, I say him, it's not like the best for last, but I chose him last because I think he's the most vital and most important one that I can discuss, that I know of, that I want to present to you guys. If you don't know him, his name is Len Bias. This young man here, man, listen, he was in the same draft class as Michael Jordan. He played against Michael Jordan. He played college in Maryland. I'm talking about he could have been as big, not even some say, you know, as great as Michael Jordan. But this young man here, man, listen. So he, like I said, he played in Maryland, right? Played in Maryland, was getting drafted by the Boston Celtics. And before he signed the contract, he went to a party and did drugs and overdosed, or because of the drugs that was introduced to him, he had a heart attack and passed away. And I said before he signed the contract, because that's very important, because, okay, you did all the things you're supposed to do. You went to college, you played ball and stuff like that, but now you finna you get drafted by the Boston Celtics. You're in this position to help your family. And before you can sign the contract, you go to a party or you go out and try to celebrate and have a good time, and you get introduced to drugs and stuff like that. And you don't know how your body is going to react to it, and it takes you out. And before he signed the contract, that means they don't get no money. So he couldn't even help his family. So he's passed away. He can't help his family. If he's not saying that he should have just waited, but I'm just saying, like, the knowing of, you know what I'm saying, let's do the business first, you know what I'm saying, let's establish ourselves first, and then, you know what I'm saying, have a good time, not to that extreme. Like, I'm not condoning, I'm not inducing doing what he did, but man, such a tragic loss, man. That one hit home, because, like, bro, you at the finish line right here. Oh, you have, like, that, you get caught up, but that really, you know what I'm saying, shows you how human and how fleshly we are, and how close we can be to something and not really hit it. But hopefully these guys here that I mentioned, you guys do some research on them, do some homework on them, or even I just introduced them to them now, and you know them. Now that's somebody that you know, or somebody that you can have a story with, that can tell you and show you that this game should not be taken for granted. Anytime you guys hit that court, anytime you guys lace up them sneakers, you touch that ball, man, these young men here can't do that no more. They can't, you know what I'm saying, be out there and have fun with their friends. They can't create memories that last a lifetime. And it hits home, because we just go out there and, you know, shoot, hoop, and ball, and, you know what I'm saying, and just throwing the ball around and stuff like that without even having a purpose, or not without even realizing the gravity and the weight that it holds. So next time you guys go out there and hoop, lace up, or whatever you got out there doing in business or whatever, and I'm doing that to myself. Do it with a, you know, sense of urgency. Do it with a sense of purpose. Do it with a sense of pride, and don't take it for granted, man. Don't take it for granted. That's very key. That's why I did this video, because sometimes in basketball or in life, like I said, we take these for granted because we just do it just to do it. But hopefully the story hits you, and hopefully impact you. Without any further ado.